What if the perfect single-story new construction home in Valencia actually exists and it's move-in ready? Welcome inside the Astra floor plan at the Tesoro Highlands, part of the Bella Terra Collection by Toll Brothers, one of the most in-demand luxury new construction communities in Valencia right now. And this single-story luxury new construction home for sale is exactly what today's buyers are searching for. Opens concept living, private primary suite, indoor-outdoor flow with 90-degree sliding glass door, and a spacious private home site. In this Valencia new construction home tour, I'll show you why quick move-in single-story homes like this are getting snapped up, what makes the Astra layout so desirable, and whether this Toll Brothers home is the right fit for your lifestyle. Stick around to the end and I'll break down who this home is perfect for and what buyers need to know before purchasing new construction in Valencia. Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group. So on today's new construction home tour, we're going to be checking out the Astra floor plan here in the Tesoro Highlands. So the Astra floor plan is part of the Bella Terra Collection. That is their single-story collection. There's three different ones. There's the Astra, the Essen, which we showed you on our last home tour, as well as the Stella. So the Astra is actually the smallest one. That one is 4 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms, and it's 3,377 square feet of living space with a 3-car garage. So we're going to show you all of that in a little bit. We're in Valencia, California, located about 40 miles, more or less, north of downtown Los Angeles off the 5 freeway. And a lot of people usually take Copper Hill to be able to get here. So there are 137 home sites. Originally, there were 77 that were the 2-story of part of the Altamonte collection, and the rest, the other 60, were the single-story. But they're down to the nitty-gritty. There's only 14 left that are single-story right in this Tesoro Highland master plan community built by Toll Brothers. The other builder is Lennar. But today we're focusing on Toll Brothers. So this is a quick move-in home, and like I said in the beginning of the video, stay tuned to the very end. We're going to talk about some of the pros and cons of both the quick move-in home as opposed to a home where you would actually build from scratch. It really comes down to personal preference. But today we're going to get into everything that this home has to offer, and we're going to start with the exterior. So let's start with the exterior. So on this one, the Astra, this is going to be the Coastal Contemporary. There's 3 different facings that they offer. You have the Coastal Contemporary, the Modern Farmhouse, and the Spanish Contemporary. And now, if the Modern Farmhouse seems to be familiar to you, that's because that's what we featured last time. And we're only a few home sites down. I'm going to step back over here. You could probably actually see it right down there. That's what we were looking at on our last home tour. So again, this one is the Coastal Contemporary. So it has mostly a stucco finish with that veneer on the outside. You're going to be responsible as the homeowner to landscape your front and your backyard. You do have that 3-car garage. You have the tandem portion of it, and then you have a 1-car section also. You can already see the solar panels up there as well. So let's make our way to the front of the house so we can show you everything that the interior of this home has to offer. And let us know, are you looking for a single-story new construction home in LA County? All right, so welcome inside the Astra. 4 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms, a 3-car garage. Most importantly, 1 level, as it is part of the Bella Terra Collection. All the homes in the Bella Terra Collection are just 1 level. So this home has 3,377 square feet of living space. So this is the smallest floor plan on the Bella Terra Collection. The Essen and the Stella, they each have over 3,500 and 3,600 square feet of living space. So as we start here, you can see this home is already wired, which is always nice. This would be, technically it's the flex room is what they're going to call it, but this is going to be your family room space. But this is the flex room. You can see they have the limestone tile. So this is how the home's going to be delivered to you. You know, always in the model homes, you always see these decorative wallpaper and other things done to the walls, but it's actually going to be given to you just like this, just drywall and white paint, and then you can do with it whatever you want. You want hot pink? Knock yourself out. So now as we make our way into the main living area, this is where you're going to have your living room. Now, unlike the Essen floor plan that we looked at on our last home tour, that one did not have the 60-inch linear fireplace in the living room. That is an upgrade. And so you will have that in this home. So again, this is a quick move-in home, so you don't have to worry about any structural design or electrical upgrades. So you could easily close escrow within 30 days or less if this is a home that you actually decide that you like. All right, then coming on over here, you have plenty of room for your dining table. And look, if you wanted to, and this is just an idea, you could have, a family room here and then put your dining table right here in the middle to kind of break up the kitchen and the living room spaces. Let me step back to show you kind of what that would actually look like. So you could put your dining table in here. It would be open. Obviously, it's right next to the kitchen. And then if you didn't want to put it over here, now you have this family room or other space, depending on how you would like to do it. So you have your large kitchen island. You're going to have your Sub-Zero refrigerator, your built-in a Wolf microwave. Again, obviously stainless steel. And then you have your Wolf range and oven right here. And then over to your left, you're going to have your Kohler stainless steel sink basin, stainless steel dishwasher as well. You have the underlighting underneath the cabinets. And then I do like the backsplash here, right? So you kind of have some like an off-white with a little bit of gray in the design. And so that is an upgrade from the builder. And this is your standard quartz countertop. So if you were to build from scratch and you didn't want to have anything done, this would be the standard. Now, the cabinetry is upgraded, as are the handles. So these aren't the typical ones that you would get if you didn't do nothing to the house. I do like the two-tone. So it works here because look at your quartz countertop. You have the white with the speckles right there. And then the black, because you have the black handles over here, I think it goes well. Of course, you have the black from the stainless steel appliances. And of course, the faucet right there from your stainless steel sink basin. So I think it all combines nicely. So because you don't have anything crazy going on in the flooring obviously is going to go with black, right? That limestone tile. The color scheme is going to go with the black on your island as well as the brown over here to your right. So that's what you're seeing. That's what's in style right now, is that two-tone from your kitchen island over to the rest of the cabinetry. Now, speaking of cabinetry, I know you hear me talk about this all the time, that, if you're talking about resale and you're building from scratch, here's a quick move-in home, so you wouldn't be able to alter it. But, buyers really, when it comes to resale, they do like the fact that you can have the cabinetry go all the way to the top. That's about a $17,000 to $20,000 upgrade, depending on which community you're looking at with Toll Brothers. All right, so here we find ourselves in the walk-in pantry. So pretty good size space for your walk-in pantry right off your kitchen. If you were building from scratch, you would have the option of actually getting this as a frosted door. So really love those high ceilings. That's what new construction buyers are really looking for. And I'd say the big upgrade here, look, are these 90-degree stackable doors. So they open up here at this point. So everything actually opens up. And again, we're here in Southern California. So it's all about that indoor-outdoor living, right? So this is how being able to have something like this is a great upgrade. And not everybody actually goes for this, but it's one of those things where I think buyers really notice it when it ever comes time for resale 7 to 10 years down the line, whatever the case may be, because now your indoor space really does truly become an extension of your outdoor living space. Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group. All right, so what do you think of this new construction home by Toll Brothers here at the Tesoro Highlands? So I've been doing this for over 20 years, blessed enough to have over 250 five-star reviews, and help so many buyers like yourself when it comes to new construction. And new construction, a little bit of a different beast than resale, so it's really important that I think that you have an agent work with you, whether it be myself or somebody you know. Definitely have an agent accompany with you. The best part is that the builder pays the agent, not you, so it doesn't cost you anything extra to have somebody out there holding your hand throughout the entire process. And that's what we like to do, is hold your hand through the entire process. And that starts with a Zoom call before basically we even go to the builder, right? That's number one. And then kind of answer a lot of your questions so you can kind of have an idea of what to expect. And since I have a relationship with all of the builders, I can get real-time information. A lot of times you have to call the builder up and you have to leave a message and whatnot. But most of the sales managers, I have their cell phone. So I can actually if you want information on a particular home site, I can just call them right away, right? You don't have to worry about calling the actual builder themselves. So these are just some of the caveats or some of the benefits of working with someone like myself who has a relationship with the builder themselves. So that's for starters. And then, also when I think it comes to new construction, it's not just about showing you the property, but also walking you through, what's your vision? Dealing with a quick move-in home is going to be different as opposed to a home that's built from scratch, where you're talking about the structural design, electrical upgrades, right? And going with you and accompanying you to the design center in Simi Valley and talking with you, hey, you know what? You should spend your money on this as opposed to that. You're going to get much better resale value, and kind of make sure you have a voice of reason there so that way you're not overstepping your budget that you actually come with, because that's really important when it comes to going to the design center, right? And then being with you with the framing walkthrough, the electrical walkthrough, and then obviously with you till the very end and anything that comes up in between. So if you have any questions, definitely reach out when it comes to new construction. Glad to just be a resource if you're thinking about buying new construction here in Los Angeles. Let's continue on with the home tour. So immediately over to your left. So this is across from the flex room. You're going to have this half bathroom, because remember, it's 4 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms. So each bedroom is going to have its own private bath. And we're going to make our way over to where all of the bedrooms are at this point. So coming on over here, this is going to be bedroom number 1. This is going to be your standard carpeting that you're going to have. And then again, like I just said, literally a few seconds ago, that each bedroom is going to have its own attached bathroom. You have your shower and tub. And this is the basic tile that you're going to have in your shower enclosure. This is what the home will come with. And then this, if you were to buy from scratch, right, this would be the typical standard quartz countertop. And then usually, like we see in most Toll Brothers homes, whatever type of cabinetry you have in the kitchen is usually typically what you end up in the bathrooms also. Now, what I meant here is this is the standard tile that you would get. For this home, obviously, it's already, taken care of for you. But if you were to build from scratch and you decide you didn't want to do anything to the house or upgrade anything, that's what the shower enclosure will be like. And then, of course, got your one closet over here. All right, so let's talk about a few other things when it comes to the solar system, right? You can lease or buy it. It's a 5 kilowatt system. And so, most of the time, I'd say between about $25,000 to $30,000 when it comes to that. So again, this is another bedroom that faces the front of the house. And then schools. So this is a real big one. So if you're looking for amazing schools, this community, Tesoro Highlands, really is going to fit the bill, because you have Tesoro de Valle Elementary, that's K through 6. And that one is usually typically rated about a 9 out of a 10. And then Rio Norte Junior High School, that's going to be 7th and 8th grade. That's almost always rated 9 out of 10. And then you have Valencia High School, and that's one of the better high schools. That is also rated 9 out of 10. So kind of hard to beat that unless you found a place that had all 10 out of 10. And so you can see again, each bathroom right here that's attached to the bedroom, the same standard quartz countertop, cabinetry, and the shower and tub enclosure. And this one has a walk-in closet. Most importantly, I feel like the one question people ask me up here in northern LA County is about the estimated property taxes. So they estimate that your property tax base will be about 1.85%. So that includes Mello-Roos. You do have Mello-Roos in this community. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, the Homeowners Association dues, those are approximately $345 a month. That covers the maintenance and operation of the common area with the Tesoro Highlands community. And that includes the entry monuments, the gated entry, recreation area, common area landscaping, the parkway landscaping, and the property management by Keystone. So now, as we're over here, and by the way, this is the entry to the garage. We'll show you that before we step into the backyard. Now we're over at the primary bedroom. So this one obviously faces the backyard. And again, you have your standard carpeting. And then we come on over here. Again, you have your standard quartz countertop on this with the brown cabinetry. And it does basically go nicely with the limestone tile. You have your separate vanities, and then you have your soaking tub right here in the middle. And we'll turn around over here. And then on this side, again, you have the upgraded tile in this bathroom. And then right over here is going to be your large walk-in closet that we are meandering through right now. So, as opposed to the Essen model, which had two smaller walk-ins, one on each side of the primary bathroom, this one has just one big closet. So would love to hear what you actually think about it. Do you like the two smaller closets, or do you like the one big one? And like we said in the Astra, that, if you were to build it from scratch, here it's not a possibility. But if you were to build it from scratch, right, you could have Toll Brothers put together some really cool built-ins that you may have seen in some of their model homes. But again, that could easily run you $30,000 to $40,000. So as we talked about before, right before we started entering into the primary bedroom, wanted to show you the 3-car garage because it's a different setup than the Essen floor plan. So on the Essen, that home, right, you're going to have a 2-car garage as well as a 1-car garage. Here, you have a 2-car tandem. And then on the other side over here, you'll be able to park another garage. You'll have access to your backyard, tankless water heater, as well as access to your solar system and sprinkler system. So they're currently using a Tesla right now as their solar provider. So that has changed over the years. They used to use a different company in the past. All right, now that we've seen that, now we can finally make our way into the backyard. All right, so we entered into the backyard through those 90-degree stackable doors. And again, remember, this is really important when it comes to new construction. Fortunately, these aren't major lots like the Ridge at Bella Vista, right? You're talking 20,000 square foot lots or really large lots at the Hidden Oaks by Toll Brothers. So, it's really important to remember that you're going to be responsible to landscape this. So I do like the fact that you don't have a neighbor behind you. And it's also important to keep in mind that the HOA is responsible for all the maintenance right here behind the property. So that means you don't have to do anything. You don't have to water. You don't have to worry about having somebody come out every year for brush clearance. The HOA is going to be responsible for all of that. Now, right behind here used to be a hiking trail, but now that this community is fully developed, the HOA is going to be taking over that hiking trail, and basically that it'll become part of the community. So now the public won't have access to it. And, from a security standpoint, I don't think that's a bad idea. So you have your dual AC, right? You have 2 different condensers. And then you have a pretty good sized side yard as well. So this is a pretty decent sized lot. But again, you're going to be responsible for designing and basically making this come to life. You will have to submit your plans to the architectural committee for the homeowners association. Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group. So thank you for joining us for another one of our home tours. So one of the questions that I get asked often, guys, is whether or not it makes more sense for a quick move-in or to actually build from scratch. So I think it comes down to a couple different things. I think one thing you have to think about is that if you want a specific lot location, then building from scratch is probably going to make more sense, right? So typically here in the Tesoro Highlands, they don't have a lot of home sites left, but for a 2-story home, it takes about 9 to 10 months to build out, and a single level takes about 8 months or so, more or less. Don't quote me on that, but it's kind of about that range. So if you're not in a rush and you want one specific lot, then yes, 100% the going to build it yourself is going to be the way to go. Now, it's typically going to be a lot more expensive because you have to pick out all the different upgrades that you want. I'd say on average, our new construction clients usually spend about 15% of the sales price when it comes to structural design and electrical upgrades. Because, on a house that's $2 million, you could easily be spending $300,000 just on your structural upgrades and some of the basic design upgrades, right? Because people a lot of times think about, your kitchen countertops. No, part of those design upgrades include the 90-degree stackable doors that we were talking about earlier in this video. So I think when you look at it, in its entirety, like you have to be able to budget that. And then what it's going to cost to basically build out your front and backyards when it comes to new construction. So you have to keep that in mind as well. So if you're looking into a quick move-in home, the best part, the number one reason why I think the quick move-in homes really make sense is the builders are eager to negotiate on those homes. Those are the homes that you can really negotiate on and really ask for more incentives. So they have some really great incentives right now. And we've been negotiating some great incentives with Toll Brothers over the course of the last year, especially on their quick move-in homes. So they got some really great deals available. So a lot of times, let's just say like it's $100,000. You can use that to either buy down your rate, use it at the design center, right? So these are the things you can use it for. You can't use it to bring the price down, but you can use it for things like that. So I think that's something to consider also, that, if you're in a hurry, especially, maybe you want to be looking at a quick move-in home. Again, everything's already been chosen for you. And if you like it, especially if you like the location in the community, maybe it makes more sense than maybe paying a little more money and building out your home from basically a dirt lot. There's no right or wrong answer on that, by the way, but it really comes down to what your personal preference is. Hope you enjoyed this home tour. I'm Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group. We'll see you on the next one.